spicy side.
From breaking headlines to backroom whispers.
All served hot and fresh. Hello there, I'm Monique Tuzon.
I'm Ferdi Salvador. Glad to have you with us.
I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is the Daily Dish.
And I'm Chal Lontoc. Join us in the next hour and a half where the news meets the stories that matter to all of us.
Happy Thursday,
Happy
everybody.
Thursday.
One more day till the weekend.
Yes,
Can
we are all
talk-
counting the days until it's Friday.
Now we are all looking at your hair, girl.
Yeah, your hair.
Your hair is hairy.
My
Your
hair
hair
is
is
hairy.
hairy.
And Ferdi was saying big hair is coming back for
2026,
2026.
according to
Yes.
Loris.
Remember, you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
you wanted to do the Farrah Fawcett hair. I think you're
Well,
almost there.
I think this
Achieved
is it.
with,
Thank you.
with the DVF outfit.
Thank you to our angels, Mommy Ron and George.
Caroline Fawcett.
And talking about big hair, Beyonce.
Start with Beyonce. Yes,
Good segue.
she is officially returning to the Met Gala for the first time in 10 years. Imagine that. And she is a 2026 co-chair.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes.
I
And
didn't
she-
even realize she hasn't been in the Met Gala.
Yeah, but for 10 years.
Yeah,
now she's
tagal
been,
na
but
pala.
now she's also co-chairing with Nicole Kidman and Fashion Freshness, Venus Williams, and of course, the Madame, Anna Winter.
Of course.
Speaking of Venus Williams, like her looks at the Met has always served, right?
Not just
Nice,
that.
nice fun. We are so on the money today.
Go,
It's the hair.
Yeah, the hair
Nice
is hairy.
serve.
Having brains.
Daily dish served with Mai.
Ay, sus Maria. But
Good
of
job,
course,
Sarah Mai.
yeah, you know what? I've been asking the girls what we're gonna eat, and they're not giving me any advice. But Italian cuisine has been granted a UNESCO Cultural Heritage
Wow, you know who's
status.
super happy about this?
Oh.
Mateo.
Mateo.
Mateo,
There's a new
Machu.
restaurant, Susi Machu. We can't wait to
Machu.
go.
Yeah.
And we're going to be
Yes.
there sometime soon and also share that Italian
The Daily
cuisine.
Dish will literally take
Yeah,
over
we are going
Mateo's
to
restaurant.
invade.
It's great because we're just talking about our stories for the next couple of weeks, and Mateo came up, and wow, perfect. You
We'll
know,
be having him as well.
I wonder when Filipino cuisine will get that.
Soon. Well, we just
It's
got the
already
Michelin,
there.
so
We're
we're
already
getting
there,
there.
Yeah. And especially
days.
with Terra Madre just concluded, we are the gastronomic hub in the Asia Pacific.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. Mai is really like on it
You
today.
want
it.
her take over. Go. Who else?
Anyway,
Sino pa?
we're
What else are we
so
serving,
excited about our
Yes.
guest today, Maggie Wilson. And
Yes.
this is something I'm looking forward to because she just came out with a book. It's a very significant personal story about empowerment and coming off from a very publicized
Yeah, and
story.
this is her very first interview. She chose us for a reason, and you guys have to stay for that
It's
reason.
exclusive,
Yes.
so we're not gonna tell you.
Yeah, a lot of women who are out there who saw, of course, our post have been messaging and saying yes, they will listen in because for the first time ever, after a very, very long time, this won't just be on her social media page, but literally an interview exclusive here with the Daily Dish at Bilyonaryo.
Yes.
Can't wait. But we also have interior designer Cyndi Fernandez as well. Let's talk about what's trending in this 2026
Yes.
and actually like what are good gifts to give, especially to like our bougie friends, aka Ferdi.
Wow!
I'm like, I don't know what to give you for Christmas, so I'll ask Cyndi later.
You
what
can
we
you can buy
do?
me bling.
Yeah, I know.
I know he always loves the bling.
Speaking about bling, we've
proof
got
of
a
that
shining
is
right here, just in case
the
you guys
one
are
on
not
his
seeing
lapel.
it.
Thank you, Jay May Jewelry. There
We
are
need
my.
sunglasses. It's blinding me.
All
I'm
right,
just gonna cover it.
stay tuned for those conversations coming up in a few minutes. But first, the headlines. In today's headlines, the Internal Revenue Bureau on the hot seat as senators take a look at the alleged misuse of letters of authority and mission orders. We get a report from the Senate live. Meanwhile, in sports, a golden breakthrough for our swimmers in the 33rd Southeast Asian Games. The country ends a 3-decade spell for a gold medal in the regional meet. We get an update from Thailand live. A Bilyonaryo News Channel exclusive, TV host and former beauty queen Maggie Wilson is ready to open up and share her story in a new book. The author of The Confidence Blueprint will join us in a bit. And what are the trends to watch in home decoration with 2026 fast approaching? Catch our conversation with interior designer Cyndi Fernandez later in the show. Our top story today, after recent DPWH controversies, the spotlight has shifted to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Lawmakers are now probing alleged misuse of letters of authority and mission orders, accusing BIR officials of pressuring businesses into unofficial payments. Hannah T is live from the Senate to tell us more. Hi, Hannah, what's the latest?
My senators turned their attention today from flood control to taxes, zeroing in on alleged abuse inside or within the Bureau of Internal Revenue involving letters of authority and mission orders. The Blue Ribbon Committee received reports that these documents, which are supposed to authorize legitimate tax audits, have instead been used to pressure businesses into paying under the table. Only about 2% of taxes collected from businesses actually come from formal LOA or mission order assessments, while 98% of voluntary payments, to which Senator Erwin Tulfo asked about where the money from LOA negotiations is going. Lawmakers reported specific patterns, taxpayers receiving multiple LOAs within a single taxable year, including one case where 4 separate LOAs were issued in just 6 months, and another involving a small family business hit 4 times for the same mini grocery and eatery. There were also reports of tax assessments bloated far beyond a firm's actual sales, such as a business with 12 million pesos in gross receipts facing a 13 million peso deficiency after refusing an informal settlement offer. The committee was told that in many cases, only a small portion of the final settlement is officially receipted. One report shows that an original assessment running into millions was cut down to between 500 and 800K, but just 100K was formally remitted and the rest allegedly went to individual officials. Another case involved a 30 million peso deficiency being brought down to 1.2 million, with less than half allegedly going to government and the majority reportedly divided among examiners and their superiors. Lawmakers say businesses are being targeted year after year, forced into compromises to avoid even higher assessments, and too afraid to complain for fear of retaliation. Newly appointed Commissioner Charlito Mendoza has already ordered the immediate suspension of all field audits about 2 weeks ago, including issuance of letters of authority and mission orders. Mai?
Anna, who else is there at the Senate hearing and what reforms are being pushed to stop this scheme?
Some attendees are former commissioners, including attorney Kim Hinares, who walked the committee through how LOAs, mission orders, and enforcement should actually work. She explained that a LOA functions almost like a warrant, and without it, BIR personnel cannot enter a business or open its books. And a mission order, meanwhile, is used only for surveillance when there's suspicion that a taxpayer is not issuing receipts. And also present was former Commissioner Romeo Lumagi Jr., who acknowledged shortcomings under his term. But he said that when he started in 2022, he rebuilt the BIR around 4 pillars: integrity, professionalism, digitalization, and better public service, and that their task forces were focused on large illicit traders to protect legitimate businesses. And in terms of new reforms, the most significant commitment today came from current Commissioner Mendoza. He said that moving forward, every single LOA issued by the BIR must have his personal clearance. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Hannah T, reporting to us live from the Senate. In other news, Senator Bato de la Rosa's legal counsel lays down conditions before his client finally appears in public. De la Rosa has been absent from Senate sessions since November 11th after Ombudsman Boying Remulla claimed that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant against the senator. The ICC is investigating killings linked to the Duterte administration's war on drugs.
If the rules of procedure, if there is a law already that would define the parameters of surrender, because under Article 102 of the Rome Statute, it is clearly defined there. And if that happens, or if the Supreme Court would issue us a TRO, no?
On that ICC warrant.
Yes, on that.
If it exists.
If it exists, yes. Perhaps Senator Bato would finally surface.
On Bilyonaryo News Channel's On Point, attorney Israelito Torion insists De La Rosa's personal safety is at stake. He also claims the senator is a victim of politics.
Imagine, the proceedings are supposedly, the processes are supposedly confidential. Why would the ombudsman reveal that when under Article 87, paragraph 3, that is confidential? There must be a purpose behind it.
Barangay officials in Iloilo City are now facing graft and corruption complaints over alleged cuts from cash aid meant for families in crisis. John Manalo is reporting live from the office of the Ombudsman in Quezon City. Hi, John. What can you tell us about this?
Mai DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian has filed complaints against several Iloilo City officials before the Office of the Ombudsman today. This following allegations that they took cash cuts from the cash assistance meant to the assistance to individuals in crisis situations or AIX beneficiaries. In the official documents submitted to the Ombudsman, the DSWD filed complaints of grave misconduct, violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and abuse of authority against 14 barangay officials in Iloilo City. According to complainant witnesses, these barangay officials reportedly took percentages from the AIX funds that had already been distributed to the beneficiaries. Gatchalian said the victims came from 16 different barangays in Arevalo and Haro, but their stories are strikingly similar. The alleged perpetrators include barangay captains, kagawads, treasurers, and other appointed officials. Gatchalian revealed that the respondents allegedly coerced victims to give them at least 8,000 pesos, leaving only 1,000 to 2,000 pesos for each of the intended recipients. He added that the DSWD is prepared to request the preventive suspension of the respondent barangay officials before the Ombudsman if found necessary. Meanwhile, Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano said the complaints will first undergo the standard process and will be thoroughly evaluated once all documents are complete. Mai.
And to those beneficiaries whose funds were reduced.
Mai, when asked what will happen to those beneficiaries whose funds were cut, Gatchalian said that they will reassess the situation of these individuals and that the DSWD regional offices are already in the works towards determining what will happen to these beneficiaries. Mai.
Thank you, John Manalo, reporting live from the Office of the Ombudsman. We have good news for Team Philippines in the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Thailand. The country's swimmers have ended a decades-long drought in the regional meet. Our sports correspondent Sheila Salaysay joins us live from Bangkok. Hi, Sheila. Tell us more about this breakthrough and what's the latest in our SEA Games campaign.
Yes, hi, Mai. And of course, it's an historic opening day for the Team Philippines for the 30th Southeast Asian Games. And our team delivered, of course, a milestone victory right out of the gate. And you mentioned our Team Philippines women's swimming. Definitely, it's a very historic moment because for the first time since 1993, the Philippines has captured a gold medal in a women's swimming relay, and it comes with an even bigger breakthrough. The nation has won its first ever gold in a 4x100 meter freestyle, marking a landmark moment for Philippine swimming. And adding to that, definitely, is the country's triumphant start with Justine Bacayo claimed the gold medal in the men's opposite event in Taekwondo. For our day one medal tally, Philippines wrapped up with a total of 2 gold, 2 silver, and 9 bronze medals. And for the events that we have, or we must watch for today, all eyes are now turned to different key events. First off, we have a basketball, the men's 3x3 squad. Of course, we'll have another match. Women's volleyball faces the defending champion Thailand for this afternoon in jet ski. Anton Ignacio competes in the 1100 roundabout event. Track and field also heats up with January Ubas and Pocket de los Santos taking on the men's decathlon. Canoe and kayak actions continues, and of course it's for men's 200-meter canoe doubles, kayak doubles, and another mixed kayak doubles for this morning. The Philippines also compete in the mixed weight team final, karate and mixed martial arts event, and gymnastics with young standout Hailey Garcia. And of course, with the historic Day 1 now in the books, Team Philippines is setting the tone for what could be a remarkable SEA Games run. And you have to stay tuned for more action, more highlights, and more chances, all for glory for our Filipino athletes. Right?
Laban Pilipinas, and things are looking good, Sheila. So which events this afternoon could deliver potential gold for Team Philippines?
But a lot of definitely events will surely take place still. There's, of course, swimming. We are waiting for swimming. We are also looking for another medal in gymnastics, canoe, another one for water skiing, and what else? There's a lot coming from also for handball. There will be having a match, jiu-jitsu for men's 69 kilogram. Also for judo kata, that is another gold at stake for Team Philippines. And we have also karate and, cycling definitely. So there's a lot of events that they're looking forward to. It's around 35 golds at stake for Team Philippines for today's event only, Mike.
Okay, looking forward to updates later in the day. Thank you, Sheila Salaysay, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. It appears the Bilyonaryo/Politico brothers Eric and Edvic Yap enjoyed a jet-setting, high-flying lifestyle fueled by funds linked to ghost flood control projects. Documents obtained by Bilyonaryo.com show the Benguet congressman and the ACT-CIS party list representative assembled a luxury aircraft fleet worth about 1.7 billion pesos in just 3 years under Skyyard Aviation Corporation. The fleet was topped by a 550 million peso Cessna private jet delivered just weeks ago. The Anti-Money Laundering Council said Skyyard is too small a corporation to afford such high-value aircraft. The AMLAC points out the company had only 25 million pesos in capital and posted minimal profits in the last 3 years. President Bongbong Marcos announced this week a freeze order has been issued on the Yap brothers' assets, including their aircraft, to prevent any movement or disposal while the investigation continues. Akbayan Party List Representative Percy Sandanya is not impressed by President Marcos's move to prioritize several measures, including the anti-political dynasty bill. The lawmaker told BNC's at the forefront PBBM should instead certify these measures as urgent if he is serious in hastening their passage in Congress.
Hanggat hindi niya sinecertify as urgent itong measure na ito, people will always doubt the sincerity of his pronouncement. Sa dulo nga, whether this is driven by sincerity or desperation, dapat sukatin talaga if he will put his action into his words into actual action. So he should put his money where his mouth is.
Sandanya is confident the anti-dynasty bill will be passed this time, despite his claim that a majority of his colleagues at the House belong to political dynasties.
So this time around, we have to have faith in the people. sisingilin tayo ng taong bayan kapag hindi natin ito ginawa. Asahan natin na pati ng 2028, yung mga hindi susuporta, yung mga harang dito sa anti-political dynasty legislation, sisingilin talaga ng bonggang-bongga ng taong bayan.
President Marcos is merely being forced to offer something to safeguard his presidency. That's how Labor leader Lucas Espiritu described PBBM's move to present 4 priority bills. On BNC's The Spokes, Espiritu stressed that Mr. Marcos should not be glorified for this move, as it is simply the result of the people's collective protests.
Alam natin na si PBBM ay under a lot of threat ngayon, and he has to secure his continuation bilang presidente for the next 3 years. So napipilitan siya, and I would say, and that's the realistic assessment of it, napipilitan siya ngayon na to give something. Kasi imagine mo naman kung under threat ka tapos sanggano ka pa rin. Diba? Kailangan magpakatino nung mga nandun sa tuktok dahil nagpuprotesta tayo eh.
Espiritu added that if the president truly wants reforms, labeling these measures as priority bills is shallow. He says the president must certify them as urgent to ensure their swift passage. In other news, lawyer Israelito Torreon slams plans for another impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Torreon tells Bilyonaryo news channels On Point it will only deepen divisions in the country. Militant group Bayan has said it is preparing to file the complaint next year.
Bakit pa iniinitan nila si VP Sara? Daming pera nating nawawala. Trilyones na nga yun sa flood control scam eh. Ito, maski ang COA, hindi pa nga nag-issue ng definitive ruling. All their concerns are the domain of the Commission on Audit. I really pray that it is going to the wastebasket. No? And that because it does not contribute to the unity of our country, it does not contribute to the gross domestic product, it will only add up to our division. It does not augur well to the health of the nation.
Torreon filed a petition earlier this year to dismiss the House's impeachment case against VP Sara. The Supreme Court later declared the articles of impeachment as unconstitutional. A global advisory firm said many Filipinos are doubting that protests would deliver any real political change, which is why public demonstrations over corruption scandals remain small. On BNC's Business 360, the firm's managing director, Bob Herrera Lim, said even those frustrated with the Marcos government are hesitant to take to the streets, worried that mass action might lead to an outcome they consider worse.
There is, for many middle-class Filipinos, especially in Metro Manila, a sort of higher level of apprehension or fear that if Marcos is attacked directly, the administration will be destabilized. And if this administration is destabilized, you get the worst outcome in their minds. I'm not saying it is the worst outcome, but one of these is either there is a military takeover, which I think is a low probability, or for them, it strengthens the hand of Vice President Sara Duterte. Now, regardless of the merits, regardless of what you think of Sara, there are people in the middle class, upper income classes who believe that Sara is a worse outcome. I'm not saying they're correct, but again, that is, I think, what keeps people from going out in the streets and telling the administration, you either fix this or else.
Yeah.
For them, or else has problems.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, says internet in the Philippines continues to get cheaper. The DICT says prices have dropped to 17% in just 1 year. Telecom operators are rolling out more affordable data packages, cutting mobile data costs by about 10 pesos for every 10 gigabytes. Globe says its rates have now fallen 60% from 2019 to 2025, showing steady long-term improvements in affordability. Philippine mobile data is now among the most affordable for countries with similar GDP levels, on par with Vietnam and Cambodia. Up next, Maggie Wilson is ready to share her story and her truth in a new book. Catch our exclusive interview with the author of The Confidence Blueprint after the break. The Daily Dish will be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish. Our next guest is ready to open up and share her story, this time as the author of a powerful new book.
She's giving us the very first look at the Confidence Blueprint right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Joining us live via Zoom is no other than Maggie Wilson. Hi, Maggie. Welcome to the Daily Dish.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Ferdi.
Thank you so much for joining us in your exclusive interview. You haven't been seen on TV for quite some time, a couple of years, in fact, Maggie.
Indeed. It's been about maybe 4 years.
Yeah, so
Because
how
I've
are you
been
doing, my
done-
dear?
You know what? I'm in a really, really good place right now. I'm very excited about the launch and the release of my book. And yeah, I'm just living life.
I know you've been shy about interviews because of course, a lot of things have happened in the past couple of years. Why did you choose Bilyonaryo to talk, and of course, the Daily Dish to talk about the book and obviously putting yourself out there on national television this time?
Okay, well, first of all, Bilyonaryo has always been very supportive. You know, even though I don't do interviews, I do see you guys write a lot of articles about me. And like I said, you've been supportive. And Ferdi, you know, we go way back. We've known each other for so long.
Don't tell them how long. We will get aged.
So, you know, like I feel very comfortable speaking to you, of course. And yeah, I think, you know, the launch of this book is a great time for me to jump back on to TV and do an interview, because I think the contents of my book is so important and it needs to be talked about.
Nice. Of course, Chal, you're excited. You
Yes.
read the book.
I read the book, Maggie, last night, finished it from cover to cover.
Amazing.
And I saw that the theme there was, you know, about women being silenced. And here you are with the courage to always speak up, whether it's from, you know, you joining pageants, you being in showbiz. The theme was always the same. Do you find that quite ironic that, you know, here you are with so much courage, speaking up about freedom as well, and yet, you know, you do not have the freedom to actually come home and be with the people that you love?
Yes. You know, the book is all about, each chapter is a story with a blueprint lesson. And it talks about how I've sort of built confidence throughout every hardship in my life. And, you know, being away and not being able to come home, that's also, I talk about that in the book. I talk about my exile and how difficult it was for me to leave. There's so many things that I miss about home. But yeah, the whole book itself is essentially a collection of stories, certain moments in my life that really made an impact, that I found really difficult to navigate, and how I navigated through them. And hopefully the lessons in those books will help whoever is reading it in their own life.
Right. Maggie, what is your main message for the book? As you said, there's different chapters of the book and your different stages in your life. And actually, before I ask you what your message is, I'd rather go back to a portion of the book wherein you mentioned that you grew up in Saudi Arabia. Three very different worlds, of course. You know, the Philippines, the UK, Saudi Arabia, and other parts of the world. How did living between these cultures shape Maggie and her stories?
You know, growing up as a third culture child, especially in a country like Saudi Arabia, whenever I get asked where I grew up, people get shocked when I say Saudi Arabia, and then they get very curious. They're like, oh, what was it like? You know, I always say I had an amazing childhood.
Right.
And growing up in a country and in a culture that isn't, you know, either of my parents, it really taught me adaptability. It taught me perspective, and it taught me to be more open and understanding to everyone, cultures, religions, you know, personalities and all that stuff. So I feel like my childhood was so important. It's an important piece to who I am and how I think and how I understand things.
One of the lines that really caught me in your book is that you mentioned, the world will try to define you. Don't let it. So tell us, Maggie, right now, how do you define yourself?
Okay, well, I started in the industry when I was 14. And when you put yourself out there, people always have this, you know, they have this feeling that they own you, or that they have a say sort of in your life. And, you know, sometimes they'll say you should be wearing your hair this way, you should be dressing this way, don't do your makeup like that. You know, they're trying to define you. And even the choices that you make, because my life is quite public, I'm under a microscope, and anything that I do, someone has something to say about it. So for me, when I say it shouldn't define you, it's me who has to define myself. At the end of the day, I know my story. I know what goes on in my life day to day. People see just snippets of it, and that's how I define my life, how I live my life on a daily basis, how I sleep at night, knowing that, you know, I can sleep. I sleep with a light heart, and I know my truth. And
Right.
the people around me and the people that love me know that as well.
Right, Mags. You know, obviously, you said a while ago that your life is under a microscope and it's quite very public. It's actually sometimes there's a polarizing effect of your life and your previous relationship. It's either you really prefer the Maggie Wilson or you don't prefer the Maggie Wilson. There's no gray area. Is this what you mentioned in your book as adaptation isn't surrender, it's strength?
Yes, you know, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that, especially in the Philippines, in a society where not a lot of people are brave enough to speak their truth or to be honest. I find that Filipinos or Asians in general are quite averse to speaking their mind, and I was never afraid of saying what I think. And sometimes, you know, that might get me in trouble, but that's okay, because I believe that no, because I believe that at the end of the day, if you're honest about something, then that's all that matters. You know, I don't believe in sugarcoating things. I don't believe in bending my opinions and my views to fit into someone else's expectations or molds of me.
Right. There are a few chapters here that you're very raw. As Chal has mentioned to us before preparing for our chat with you, there's a chapter about discovering your sister, and Chal, you had a question about that.
Yes, so the sister that you never knew you had. So maybe you could share a little bit on how you actually uncovered that family secret and the way that it changed you to what you are today, because, you know, you always continue to speak about the truth, like what just you said.
Yes. So I found out when I was 15, when I first moved to the Philippines. My parents wasn't with me, so they left me in the care of family and a woman, and who I thought was my cousin, but I wasn't really sure, because I did see her growing up, but I just didn't really know what her actual relation was. Was she my cousin? Was she my aunt? I didn't know. And then eventually I found out through other family members that she was in fact my half-sister. And that, at 15, really shook me to the core. How could she be around, how could this woman be around all these years and I did not know that she was my sister? And so I learned from that moment in my life that although I understand what happened to my mother, I thought that it wasn't fair how my sister was sort of kept from us. And from there, it really taught me a lesson on truth. Because, silence can wound. Silence can feel comfortable, but it wounds deeper than the truth. And that's why the truth is so important.
Mags, that chapter of your life, did that shape your relationship either romantically or socially or within your close-knit of friends? Did that shape you? Did it cast doubts? Did it put up a wall in the way you treat relationships?
The chapter about finding about my sister?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say. I always get told that I'm quite a social and friendly person. My friends would also say that I trust people too quickly. Because the way I see it, I always try and find the goodness in people. I give them the benefit of the doubt until I'm made to doubt. But like I said, I always try and see the goodness in people, and as much as possible, I will always be honest about what I think and how I feel. And
that's an interesting thing, Maggie. You said that you always see good in people. Has your experience and your turmoil for the past couple of years brought about something good? Have you seen anything good about that?
Absolutely. I think what's happened to me, because it also became so public and it started to be talked about in the media and on social media, it sparked a conversation, a bigger conversation, not just about what's happened to me, but what's happening to women and people in the Philippines that are going through something similar.
Okay.
Sorry, Chal, just to follow up on that, do you think that what has happened to you and that you brought out that conversation on the coffee table, basically, do you think the price you paid was very high for you to be able to derive those conversations?
No, I don't think so. And I say this because if it sparks if it's able to spark a big conversation and it even nudges, right? Let's say our system or our government to make a change, or it makes someone think about, or question, right, the system, then the price wasn't too high at all.
Oh my.
I want to talk about courage, jumping off from, fighting for the good fight. Maggie, it has been said that you have single-handedly fought and exposed the trolls here in the Philippines with everything that has happened. And it is happening actually again from what we see and what you've shared. As soon as you launched your book, a lot of these trolls started coming at you. Tell us, does it actually feel like a David and Goliath fight? Is it something that just comes off easy for you, especially since you've already practiced your voice and, making room and space for yourself as a woman already? Or does it still feel difficult and challenging?
First of all, I don't want to say I single-handedly
it was quoted though. It was quoted as that.
I know it was quoted as that, but I do want to give credit to my online community because they were the ones who found it and discovered it and brought it to my attention. And so it wasn't just something that myself that I was able to sort of uncover and take down. So I need to give credit to them. With that said, dealing with trolls or negativity, it's not something new to me. I've been in the industry since I was 14. I've been called so many names, so many things. So none of it really truly bothers me. I think it bothers my community more. It bothers maybe my family and my friends more. But as for me, it's just water off a duck's back. Because again, at the end of the day, I know my truth. I know what I have done and what I haven't done. And if I know what they're saying about me isn't true, then it doesn't affect me at all. In fact, I just laugh about it. I'm like, wow, they're getting more creative by the day.
Maggie, we see your courage and how brave you are, but from one woman to another, there's been a lot of words thrown at you, like what you mentioned, ever since the start of your career, whether it's talk about you being a mother, a wife, or a celebrity. Which one actually hurts the most?
I don't know, maybe a liar. I've been called a liar quite a bit. And there were things that were said about me in court documents as well that I felt were incorrect or maybe came from a place of hurt. Because like I said, I do like to live my life in truth and in honesty. And however that truth may sound like, at least I'm able to say how I feel and what I'm thinking. And again, at the end of the day, for me, communication is everything. And if you're not able to communicate clearly about how you feel, what you're going through, then any relationship will break down.
Right. Mags, you know, writing a book sometimes is not only a love letter to yourself, but it's the way that you unload emotions, unload stresses, unload concerns, right? And I'm glad you found that genre or mode of expressing yourself. But has there been a time wherein you're like, this is just too much. There's so much going on. This is too much. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to be quiet. I just want to, I just don't want to listen to anything. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
And what did you do about it?
Okay, so I would say 3 years ago, in the height of, in the middle of the height of everything, I literally wanted the earth to swallow me whole. It was a very difficult time for me, very hard moment for me, to sort of accept what was going on. And yes, putting myself out there in this book has absolutely terrified me. There were moments where I said, I don't know if I want to do it, or I'm too scared to talk about certain things. But then, I receive messages every day from my online community. Hundreds, now thousands of messages from women, from children who are now adults that were caught in the middle of something similar, from men as well, telling me their stories. And I felt like them sharing their stories with me, they need someone to talk to. And they said that, these people are telling me that you can be our voice, because they're either too scared to speak or they don't have the resources to be able to talk about their situation. And so those people are the ones that gave me the courage to really write and finish my first book and talk about these issues.
Maggie, from a solo battle that you've been dealing on your own, you actually became a voice to other women as well, speaking up about certain things that, we were taught all throughout our life that hush, keep quiet, keep it to yourself. And here you are, able to bravely talk about these things. What are some of the most touching stories that you've heard from other women going through the same thing, maybe with their marriage or their life?
I think the most touching ones are from the children. So there was one of my followers reached out to me saying that she lost access, or her mother lost access to her when she was little, because of how her father sort of attacked her mother legally. And now that she's an adult, she realized what her father had done. because as she was growing up, she felt like she was being poisoned by her father. And now that she's an adult, she's realized everything, and now she now has a beautiful relationship with her mother. But they lost so many years of being able to be a mother and child. And that for me moved me the most. So when
it hits home.
Absolutely, because I feel like that's what's happening to me right now. And so seeing her story, reading her story, has given me hope that one day I will be able to rebuild the relationship with my son.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I hope you don't mind, because I'm going to be speaking from a place of, people asking these questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned your son, you mentioned wanting to come home, and some of them, would say, bakit hindi na lang umuwi si Maggie Wilson? Bakit di na lang niya harapin? Tell us, what is it that is making you choose to fight this battle from where you are right now?
I think the only answer really is safety. I do not feel safe, and that's the reason why I left. I felt that my safety was in danger. I also felt like the system in the Philippines would not be fair. I think we can all sort of agree without me saying too many words, especially with what's going on right now in the Philippines in government. I don't believe that I would have been granted a fair trial. And at the end of the day, it's my safety that I'm most concerned about. Mother doesn't stop. Being a mother never stops, even in exile. But I want everyone to know that, the reason why I left and the reason why I haven't gone back is because of safety concerns. And I won't be able to be a mother to my son in the future if I'm not around.
A very interesting point that you made, Maggie. The other questions coming to us would be, how are you living now? Because of course, obviously, being away wherever you are entails a lot of expenditure, and obviously, if in the Philippines you're able to work. And do your thing. And being away, as glamorous as you look, we want to know, okay, how is Maggie earning that coin?
Well, there's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that I don't share on my social media. I actually do branding consultancy.
Oh.
So I do work with, could be fashion brands, hotels, on the back end, behind the scenes, and I do some consultancy for them in terms of branding and marketing. I don't talk about it on social media because, of course, privacy for those companies and those brands. And then recently, I signed with an agency in Europe, so I've been doing more work with them on the social media end as well. Then, of course, writing this book, and I'm also launching my own brand next year. I don't want to talk about it just
Tell
yet.
us.
Not ready yet.
You're teasing us already with
You're going to be
it.
back on the show anyway. So, okay, fine. We'll wait, Maggie. We'll wait. But that's great. We've seen that you've been Fashion Week recently. And I'm sure that's a great respite from your hectic life. Maggie, how are you breathing? I mean, there's so much on your plate.
It's a struggle, but the way I see it is, even though with all the stuff going on in my life, I'm very, very blessed and very grateful to be able to live the life that I'm living. And so, what keeps me going is that, and I need to stay healthy, mentally and emotionally strong for when the day comes that I see my son again. And
that's interesting. You're talking about your child. If in the future, when he fully understands, were to read your book, what do you hope he understands or gets out of it about you?
I hope I hope he understands why I did what I did, and that we could really sit down and talk about things. It wasn't. It was a very difficult decision for me to make, and I do regret. If there's one thing that I do regret is that I didn't have a proper goodbye.
One of the most emotional things for me reading the book was your letter to your son. Just thinking about it makes me feel like tearing up as well, only because I'm a mom too. And, some of the things that were also written in the book is to have a case just for speaking about your love for your son. How long has it been since, are you in communication with your son, or is it completely gone?
So I'm not in communication with him at the moment. I haven't seen him in over 3.5 years.
Maggie, I'm glad that we actually did this interview in a very adult, a very open-minded manner. I'm glad that there's no, your farmer is also, I know him very well, and so do I with you. And there's no mudslinging. It's nice to know that yes, there's a concern, there's an issue, there's a battle going on, but you have done it just like a beauty queen, and I'm glad that maybe perhaps this kind of conversations also with your ex perhaps will bring you both to that stage wherein it's already peaceful and you all three of you can move on to a better stage in relationship.
I'll pick up from that. Is there forgiveness already? Are you in that stage already?
I will say that I'm no longer angry.
Nice.
All I've ever wanted, in fact, is peace. I do forgive him. I want him to be happy. That the day I left, or the day that we separated, that's all I ever wanted for him. I want him to be happy, and I hope he finds that happiness, because it's living in anger for the rest of your life is not healthy. And we did share 12 beautiful years together. We had some great times. Of course, not everything was great, but we had more great times than bad times. And so I shared the same bed with this person for many, many years. He is the father of my child, and so I do not wish him ill. I wish him well. I wish that he finds peace and that he's happy, because if he's happy and he's healthy, then he could be a great father to our son. And our priority should be Connor.
Wow, that too is courage. And like what Ferdi was saying, thank you so much for having this space or choosing this space to be able to tell your story and share your powerful voice. I'm personally just want to ask you right now, maybe you could also take advantage of this space here at the Daily Dish. If your son could be watching, or if he's there and someone shows it to him, what would you want to tell him?
Really, just 2 sentences. That I miss you so much, and that I've never stopped loving you. That's it. That's all I want.
Well, Maggie, thank God Chal's beside you,
I know,
else I wouldn't have anything else to say.
The tears also. But yes, Maggie, can I just insert one last? Makikita ba namin si Maggie Wilson in Manila soon? Will we get that? Is that something that we are fighting for?
Well, yes, that is definitely something I am fighting for and working towards. But I don't know how soon, but there will be a day that I will come home.
I looked over to my right, Ferdi, and I'm seeing some of the women here tearing up as well. Thank you so much for trusting us with this, Maggie.
Maggie, what can I say to you? I just hope that we wish you and your son and your former and the people that love you, who's been interconnected in your past journey, or past few years journey, to find peace. And the goal of one thing is to make sure everybody is on the same page and that everyone's happy. Thank you so much for your trust,
Thank you,
Maggie. Of course,
and congratulations.
Congratulations on your book. I heard it's selling like hotcakes.
Thank you. Ferdi, Chal, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
And for your time and for letting me, talk about my book.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're gonna be back on the show anyway because you gave us a teaser. So Maggie Wilson, everyone, thank you so much for this exclusive interview with you. Maggie, we'll talk to you later.
You're welcome. Bye.
We've got more news for you from around the world, plus the latest in sports and entertainment after the break. The Daily Dish will be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish. We begin world news with clashes at the Thai-Cambodia border. Thailand's military now claims it has fully cleared an area near the Cambodian border after an operation involving armored vehicles. Officials say they've deployed an armored vehicle to destroy the entrance sign of Cambodia's Border Protection Company headquarters. This was carried out to open access for an operation aimed at reclaiming and securing the Bantamok area. The renewed border clashes between our close neighbors have resulted in at least 10 deaths, including Cambodian civilians and Thai soldiers. More than 500,000 have fled their homes. U.S. President Donald Trump had urged both countries to fully honor their ceasefire commitments to bring the conflict to an end. Meanwhile, a French court rejects a nearly $15 billion claim against Malaysia by descendants of a former sultan in a long-running legal saga that goes way back to the 19th century. The Sultan of Sulu's 8 heirs, who once ruled over islands that are now split between the Philippines and Malaysia, have filed for compensation. That's after Kuala Lumpur stopped annual payments in 2013 after a bloody incursion from the Sulu archipelago into Sabah, where the Philippines has a long dormant territorial claim. The dispute has been fought in European court for years, and an arbitration in France ordered Malaysia to pay $14.9 billion. In royal news, Britain's King Charles attended a service to mark the season of Advent before Christmas. He met with international faith leaders and charity representatives on Wednesday, shaking hands with attendees and listening to music during the service. The king also heard harrowing stories about the persecution of Christians who are traditionally remembered in the run-up to Christmas. There's more to Italian cuisine than just pizza and pasta. The world-famous culinary style has made it to UNESCO's Cultural Heritage List. This is a victory for the culinary powerhouse after a 2-year campaign to classify Italian cookery as a social ritual that binds families and communities together. Italy's Prime Minister praised the decision as a recognition of its identity and its global influence.
20Com 7.b.27 as adopted.
Today we celebrate an achievement that belongs to Italy, but that enriches humanity as a whole. Thank you all. Long live Italian cuisine.
British author Sophie Kinsella, best known for the Shopaholic series, has died at the age of 55, her family has announced. Born Madeline Sophie Wickham, she revealed last year that she was undergoing chemotherapy and radiotherapy after being diagnosed with glioblastoma, a form of aggressive brain cancer, in 2022. According to her biography, she published more than 30 books, selling around 50 million copies. Translated into over 40 languages, her light-hearted style, full of humor and relatability, explored the romances, careers, and financial struggles of young women. Kinsella preferred to describe her work as romantic comedy or wit lit rather than chick lit.
In a twist guaranteed to send fashion fans into a frenzy, Beyoncé is officially returning to the Met Gala for the first time in 10 years. As a 2026 co-chair, Vogue dropped the star-packed lineup, which also includes Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and the gala's reigning force, Anna Wintour. The theme Costume Art will shape the Met's Spring Costume Institute exhibition, and the co-chairs will do far more than pose. They'll help craft the guest list, design the menu, and build the gala's signature over the top atmosphere. Vogue also revealed that Saint Laurent, designer Anthony Vasarello, and Zoe Kravitz will helm the 2026 host committee, joined by big names like Sabrina Carpenter and Doja Cat. The 2026 Met Gala takes place May 4.
In K-pop news, SM Entertainment is preparing legal action after aespa's winner became the target of a wave of online attacks, many tied to unverified rumors claiming she's dating BTS's Jungkook. Neither SM nor Big Hit Music has commented on the alleged relationship, but SM says Winter has been hit with everything from sexual harassment and defamation to privacy violations and AI-generated deepfakes. The agency announced it will pursue both civil and criminal charges against anyone responsible for creating or spreading malicious content about the aespa member. This signals an increasingly aggressive stance toward online abuse in the K-pop industry.
From luxury events to unforgettable interiors, she's the Filipino designer turning every space into a story. Up next, we meet the creative force behind Moss Manila, no other than Cyndi Fernandez-Beltran. Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Our next guest, well, she transformed homes, redefined luxury, and brought Filipino design to new heights.
And as National Vice President of the Philippine Institute of Interior Designers, she continues to shape the future of the industry. Now let's welcome to the show Cyndi Fernandez. Cyndi, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, girl, you look so cute. You can be a stylist too, not just an interior designer. I love it. I saw her outfit and I said, I need that. But take us back. Walk us through memory lane. How did you become an interior designer?
Well, how did I want, first and foremost, I came from a medical background. So I come from a family of doctors.
Oh, wow.
But for some reason, I was so inclined with, I was very much inclined with design, even when I was in high school, classrooms, I would redecorate it. And I felt like design was really natural in my language. I was also very much exposed. My Lola was a very glam person, and she was really exposed to kind of like, design in the house as well. So maybe that was a natural inclination for me. So we were the first in that whole medical field generation to kind of like break through from that and then just go into the design industry. But, it's something that was natural for me. It was very instinctively, I think I'm instinctively creative in that sense. And I didn't even know I was going to make a full career out of it. It was really just starting to just be fun.
So you broke out from that medical background.
Yes.
But your name also broke out, a couple of years back as the girl, the go-to girl for this home design, for event designing. Tell us what took you from starting out to actually being the person, the go-to one.
Okay. But heavy words, but thank you. But no, my firm is a multidisciplinary firm, and I actually call myself a multidisciplinary designer, not really just an interior designer, because I take design not just one note, not one faceted. Studying through college, I've always wanted multidisciplines. I loved visual merchandising, I love product design, I love branding, and then interior design. And I felt like maybe there's some world out there that I can merge all of that together. And then, it was a kind of like a light bulb moment. Why don't I put a design firm along with my husband that does all of these, everything that I love, and they cross-pollinate. So even when I do event design, you'd see interior design in it. It's not just specifically just, events that you see or production, but that. Now, going through 2 years ago of transforming spaces very fast, that discipline of speed in transforming spaces and events was something that we used as a skill set to transform spaces into homes during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
I think that was the one that came about with the YouTube channel of the 3-day makeover, which, by the way, is real time. That wasn't anything
It really took 3 days.
It really does take 3 days. So, but obviously there's pre-work, you meet with a client and things like that, but the transformation really does happen within 3 days. So it's fun. I'm very, very lucky that I'm able to bring all of those things, passionate things that I love, into kind of like one discipline. And I guess that's what makes my business unique.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, Chal, I was telling you, I'm like, girl, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
To like work with your husband, and they're working so well together. They're cross-pollinating, like you mentioned.
No, but seriously, yeah, I got to
It's
watch.
amazing.
I got to watch some of their videos online mode during the pandemic because we were just all at home, and it was really, like what you said, amazing. Was it events first or designing spaces first? Which one came first?
It was designing spaces first.
Okay.
So I started doing the home of Robbie Carmona in the office. And then, and Direct Robbie is known for, doing events and fashion shows.
Yes.
And this is like, babe, why don't you do one of my events in Nouveau back then? And it was on a 15,000 peso budget.
Oh, wow.
And
that's like nothing now.
It is nothing now. And I think the attitude there is really like just, let's do this. I was very gung-ho. I was young. That was 21. And I was like, just, let's do this. Let's see where it takes us. And since then, we were able to bring event design in a way interior design transformations are done. You have those touches. And then there, I kind of like just grew.
I mean, I feel like
there.
everybody, right? You always have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you could describe your design philosophy in one sentence, how would you describe it?
My design philosophy, I would always say, would be beauty and restraint.
Beauty and restraint.
Yes.
Beauty
and
very
restraint. It's like an oxymoron.
Yeah, if I had all that beauty, there's no restraint, girl.
Hold on, let's talk about that. Beauty and restraint. Why those two specific words?
I used to be a maximalist. I was talking to Ferdi about it. Ferdi's a maximalist.
Ferdi's a very maximalist.
I used to be a maximalist, right? But I found beauty, and they always say that the skill set of a designer is really on looking at a space, and there's really nothing more to add, but there's nothing more to add because it's already beautiful as it is, right? There's beauty in that because not everything is by volume, or it's intentional design is what it really needs to be. The choosing of fabrics, the adding of a decor on a table needs to be fully intentional. And I think there's some sort of restrained discipline in that. So, I've kind of like evolved into being such a maximalist to now designing spaces a bit more with intention.
Because typically you're known for your super glam
Yes,
style, right?
yes.
So if you had a signature style now, you're more on the minimalistic side.
No, I would say modern classic.
Okay.
The kind of like merge of that. But yes, I was known for glam, the Art Deco look, a lot of the golds and the blacks. I would still have that. But now a little bit more...
So toned down.
Toned down, a little bit more pulled back. And as a designer, you really do evolve in style. You'll ask a lot of designers, they do evolve. And I feel like now that's more my time. I do modern classic. You still have the silhouettes of Art Deco and glam, but still a little bit more, timeless. There.
Love it.
With refinement.
Yeah.
Okay, Mo, I'm seeing Cindy's polka dots, and it's reminding me of the new year, 2026. So I guess I just want to play a little game with Mo, you and me. Things for next year. Things for next year. We throw on
like
some
trends.
questions because space is about. Actually, space is everything when it comes to the new year. You got to prepare for it, make sure everything is free flowing. So tell us things for living room. What's in for 2026?
Curved furniture.
Curved.
Yes.
No lines. I like that.
No lines.
Yes.
Yep. Do I expound on it?
No. We'll throw it the next one.
So yes, so curved furniture.
Okay.
Is it in? So all the silhouettes, less lines.
What about for the bedroom?
Bedroom, more personal. So more personal, less of catalog-looking spaces. So more warmth as well is seen in a lot of the bedrooms. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, more personal.
How do you make the space more personal without it becoming too tacky? Having your name there, too much photos. Still part of your aesthetic.
I think it's always homes. Whenever we design, will always be about you. So it's not even about the designer. It's not even about her style. It's always about you. So you do it in phases. So it's not necessarily, because one of the in things now is the touch of warmth, the touch of personality into spaces. And that only happens when you do that in phases. That doesn't happen in one go.
Do you guys actually follow the Pantone color of the year?
Which is Cloud
Oh no,
Dream.
Cloud Dreamer bar?
Cloud Dreamer.
White.
It is.
Well, it's like a white with a gray undertone.
Yes,
and
yes,
it's both
yes.
warm and cool, so that's why they like it.
I think white never goes out of style, but the way it has a tendency to fall flat.
Well, it looks like you're in a hospital room. That's the thing, right? If it's too white,
if it's too
clean.
white. But the trick there is, and for those of you who want to follow that Pantone color of the year, your trick will always be layers of textures.
Textures.
So tactile surfaces, white shades. We always say it, there's 50 shades of white.
I was gonna say gray.
through texture.
Through texture talaga.
Okay, so do you guys follow that? Like what color? Is it the same for next year? Is neutral still a thing for next year?
Neutral is still a thing, although for those who love colors, you can do earthy tones, more grounded, olives, rust, sands, beiges, more of those. So you can do neutrals, but a punches of that deep ground colors.
Something that was trending online was the talk on where did all the colors go? Because somehow the colors of 80s, 90s, they kind of disappeared through design and it all became neutrals.
We
like
know
beige, white, grays. It went to Ferdi.
No, Ferdi,
it went to me.
No, it went to you, Ferdi, and I know Ferdi's looking at me. It went to Chal.
Me? Color? Where? Okay. No, but is that still going to be a thing? Like neutrals will continue on and colors are still more subdued?
Yes, I think in the Philippines, yes. In general, as I've seen it even with clients, they're not really very color forward. I would say that. They're very afraid of using colors a lot. Filipinos are in general. But when I do attend shows in Paris or in Milan, you'd see quite a number of colors. But then the forecast would always still be muted down.
What's the rule of thumb? Like, for example, I love an accent wall. What is the rule of thumb when picking colors?
In painting? Did you say painting or?
An accent wall.
Oh, okay.
So like one wall that's just one color.
Right. You know, just make sure that it doesn't clash too much with all the others. I would only recommend now to do color drenching is a term that's
what is that?
It's an ID term that's been going on since last year. So basically, and you've probably seen it a lot of Instagrams or Pinterest where you enter a room and everything is just one color.
Yeah.
Sofa is one color, seats are
So that's in?
decors.
So it's like
are
camouflage.
Color
drenching is what they call
Okay.
it. So that's something that we've practiced as well. Even and you see it in a lot of retail spaces too, right? And even in homes. But you know, if you want to do veer away from the color drenching trend, choose one wall that's kind of like on the same tone and family. A lot of people underestimate the undertones of paints and colors. There's pink, but there's a pink that has an undertone of green. So you kind of like make sure that there is no undertone because that's the one that separates.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for that tip. But before we let you go, Cyndi, you know, Chal, she got excited because she talked about New Year without even talking about Christmas yet, girl. We gotta take
Holiday first.
one holiday at a
I saw the polka dots.
For our viewers watching, Christmas is overwhelming,
Yeah.
especially having to host people.
Yes.
What is a tip that you can give them to not feel overwhelmed, but keep the design and the interior of their homes beautiful and still classic, but unique?
Right. You know, decorating homes, you just really have to find, number one, I think not single family home, a Filipino family home doesn't have a Christmas tree. So let's make sure to, you know, like maybe have one, even it doesn't have to be so largely scaled. I think that's the one that brings the family together too. But just use a lot of Christmas lights as well. What's trending in a lot of the homes that I see is just one tree with a lot of lights and a bow.
Like any color?
You know, traditional Christmas trees would be nice.
Traditional
like green
Christmas trees like pink, yellow,
See,
red.
all the color went to Chal. Ferdi and I are like, I like the white lights.
No, but seriously, that's a great reminder. The tree is really, you know, quite.
It's
a must.
Yeah,
it's a must.
in the center for a home.
And just so you know why I agree with this, because when I got married, I was 23, 24 years old, and we just moved out of our homes, my husband and I. Our tree was a felt paper. We literally just cut up a tree, stuck it on the window because we had no time and things were busy. So yeah, great reminder with that.
Yes.
But
so, yeah.
Oh yeah, so go ahead, Cyndi.
No. And then there's this ongoing trend of just one bow, and there's really not much, which goes for those who are, you know, kind of like also in budgets, you know,
Yeah.
you can go classy and trendy as well now these days with Christmas trees.
Love it.
All
Noted.
right.
So Christmas lights and bows.
Yes.
A bow. Thank you so much,
Cyndi.
Cyndi. We
Maybe
love
you could
having
invite
you.
them and quickly check out your space and how to, if they need you, if we can afford you already, just give a quick greeting to everyone as well.
Okay, so hi everyone. We are in socials, Moss Design House. I think we're on Instagram and on Facebook as well. I think.
All right, thank you so much, Cyndi, for joining us. Once again, interior designer Cyndi Fernandez-Beltran.
But don't go away, guys, because we'll be right back with some more exciting stuff. Welcome back. Tomorrow on The Daily Dish, we'll have TikTok sensation, content creator Roscoe Harvinia, and fashion curator Ryle Tuviera. It's going to be a very exciting Friday. Catch those conversations live at noon, only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
All right, how many more days till Christmas? Boom, 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 bam!
14 days! So exactly 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Well,
get your gifts ready. We always say that. That's it for us this happy Thursday, December 11. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
a lot of spilled tea.
With Zero Filter, I'm Monique Tuzon. Anytime is a good time because it's always more fun with us.
I'm Ferdi Salvador, always on top with the news and stories that matter most.
I'm Chal Lontoc. Stay tuned to the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Thank you for making us your lunchtime companion. I'm Mai Rodriguez, and that's a Daily Dish. Sir!